மனித புதைகுழிகள் தொடர்பில் எவரும் தண்டிக்கப்படுவதில்லை. களுவாஞ்சிக்குடியில் கண்டுபிடிக்கப்பட்ட மனித புதைகுழி தொடர்பில் புலிகள் மீது குற்றம் சாட்டப்பட்டது. அப்படியானால் அதற்கான முழு பொறுப்பையும் விநாயகமுத்தி முரளிதரன் ஏற்க வேண்டும் என நாடாளுமன்ற உறுப்பினர் கஜேந்திரகுமார் பொன்னம்பலம் தெரிவித்துள்ளார். நாடாளுமன்ற அமர்வில் கலந்து கொண்டு உரையாற்றும் போதே அவர் மேற்கண்டவாறு குறிப்பிட்டுள்ளார். முல்லைத்தீவு கொக்கு தொடுவாய் மனித புதைகுழியிலிருந்து பல மனித எச்சங்கள் தற்போது மீட்கப்பட்டுள்ள நிலையில் இன்னும் பல மனித எச்சங்கள் அதற்குள் இருக்கலாம் என்ற சந்தேகம் ஏற்பட்டுள்ளது. காணாமல் போன தமது உறவுகளும் இந்த புதைகுழிக்குள் இருக்கலாமோ என்ற அச்சம் காணாமல் போனோரின் உறவுகளுக்கு ஏற்பட்டுள்ளது. இவ்வாறான மனித புதைகுழிகளை தோண்டும் போது சர்வதேச விதிமுறைகள் கடைபிடிக்கப்பட வேண்டும். ஆனால் கொக்கு தொடுவாய் மனித புதைகுழி விடயத்தில் அது பின்பற்றப்படவில்லை. அத்துடன் இதற்கு வெளிநாட்டு நிபுணர்கள், தடவியலாளர்கள் ஆகியோரின் உதவிகளையும் பெற வேண்டும். இலங்கையில் தோண்டப்படும் மனித புதைகுழிகள் தொடர்பில் வரலாற்றில் அதிர்ச்சியான தகவல்களே கிடைக்கின்றன. எனவே மனித புதைகுழிகள் தொடர்பான உண்மை கண்டறியப்பட வேண்டும். கொக்கு தொடுவாய் மனித புதைகுழி விடயத்தில் நீதிமன்ற உத்தரவை நடைமுறைப்படுத்த போலீசார் தயக்கம் காட்டினர். தரவுகள் சேகரிக்கப்படவில்லை. தொடர்ந்து மனித புதைகுழியை தோண்டுவதற்கு அனுமதி கிடைக்கவில்லை. எனவே கொக்கு தொடுவாய் மனித புதைகுழியை சர்வதேச செஞ்சில் வச்சங்கம் பாதுகாக்க வேண்டும். மனித புதைகுழிகள் தொடர்பில் எவரும் தண்டிக்கப்படுவதில்லை. களுவாஞ்சிக்குடியில் கண்டுபிடிக்கப்பட்ட மனித புதைகுழி தொடர்பில் புலிகள் மீதும் குற்றம் சாட்டப்பட்டது. அப்படியானால் அதற்கான முழு பொறுப்பையும் கருணா ஏற்க வேண்டும். ஆனால் கருணா அரசுடன் இருக்கின்றார். அவர் மீது இதுவரையில் எந்த நடவடிக்கையும் எடுக்கப்படவில்லை எனவும் அவர் குறிப்பிட்டுள்ளார்.
I think that is completely unfair. We are only one speaker from the party for the whole session. We don't disturb Parliament, but we are penalised the most. And that also we are put right at the end. Anyway, sir, I want to take this opportunity to bring to the notice of this House. You might be aware that there have been some mass graves that have been identified in Kokuthuravai in the Mullaitivu district. And the concern here, Honourable Presiding Member, is the haphazard way in which those exhumations are taking place. We have been made aware in the Tamil media where photographs have been published.
We can give additional 3 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I deeply appreciate that. There have been photographs appearing in newspapers, in the Tamil media in particular, where heavy machinery have been used. And clearly the concern amongst victims of the disappeared who assume that these mass graves contain the remains of their loved ones is that these sort of excavations or exhumations are done in a deliberate way in order to ensure that the proper outcomes with regards to the investigations will not come out. You being a lawyer yourself know that exhumations are a very particular form of forensics required, where expertise is generally needed. When I practiced as a criminal lawyer, know that the department on several occasions seek foreign expert advice and involvement on matters, and Sri Lanka, as far as these exhumations are concerned, mass graves and exhumations actually are found severely wanting. The track record of Sri Lanka's exhumations is shocking, Honourable Presiding Member. In fact, I wish to table today a report that has been jointly published by the Journalists for Democracy in Sri Lanka, Families of the Disappeared, CHRD, that is the Centre for Human Rights and Development, and the International Truth and Justice Project. It is titled Mass Graves and Failed Exhumations in Sri Lanka, published in June 2023. And I want this tabled because, Honourable Presiding Member, you will find in that report shocking findings with regards to the way we have handled mass graves and exhumations in the past. You see, all efforts to uncover the truth have been severely undermined. These are the findings of this report. Magistrates and forensic experts have been transferred abruptly. if they were getting too close to the truth, police delays carrying out judicial orders, families and lawyers denied access to sites, no efforts are made to find live witnesses in the course of these exhumations, no antemortem data are collected, and almost on every occasion, or very rarely, where someone is convicted, they are presidentially pardoned. Classic example of that is the case in Chemmani. To date, Honourable Presiding Member, with regards to these exhumations, very few exhumations have led to the identification of victims or any clarification of circumstances of their deaths, let alone prosecution and conviction of those responsible for disappearances and murder of the people whose bodies have been recovered. The legal framework is inadequate. In 2016, the interim report of the Consultation Task Force on Reconciliation Mechanisms pointed to arbitrary procedures, lack of coordination between actors, and lack of mandatory involvement of consultant JMO, and deficiencies in part of investigations into suspected grave sites. And above all, Honourable Presiding Member, as we all know, the curse of the country is political interferences in almost all politically sensitive cases. A good example is with regards to the investigation into the Lanka4 site, when it was assumed at the beginning that it was a LTT victim site. There was a lot of hurry. Things began to rush. Then they realized that it was a fellow called Muralidhar and Vinayagamurthy, formerly of the LTT known as Karuna, who was responsible to the whole thing. Everything came to a crash. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened for almost 10 years. In the case of the Matale mass graves, the magisterial judicial inquiry, I am responsibly informed, found findings that these remains were from the 1980s. The government then rushed and appointed a committee, appointed a commission of inquiry that wanted foreign experts involved, who found that it was before 1950. Very convenient. Very convenient. So, Honourable Presiding Member, this is the track record that we have with regards to exhumations and these mass graves.
Ragon Metma.
Mana, again,
yes,
Mana,
if you can, because the House need to know, sir.
Yeah, just
House need to know, because I was governor there, then I started the process. If you know any new details, the House need to know. Thank you.
In fact, in Mana, just yesterday, this is news today, where over 300 bodies have been exhumed. All of a sudden, I think the court has decided that no further exhumations are going to take place. And that's quite a unique decision to have been taken when more and more bodies were being found, in the process of being found. So what I'm trying to say here, Honourable Presiding Member, is that when there has been this live finding just last week, and where we have these heavy machineries being used, I think it is important that the government intervene, especially at a time when it is trying to establish some form of credibility in the eyes of the international community with regards to accountability. I think it is high time the government intervenes. I ask that the government immediately involve the ICRC to protect the site, until such time as all stakeholders can agree on a proper way with regards to proceeding with these exhumations. Because if we are not prepared to do that, then again, I think the government's two-face with regards to its so-called commitment to reconciliation and accountability, I think once again will get exposed. Finally, Honourable Presiding Member, I just want to make certain comments with regards to the Honourable Tennakun, and also who I think is the State Minister of Defence, and also the Honourable Premnath Dolawat, both of whom made references, since I was in the House when their speeches were being made references and objections to certain protests that are being carried out in the north and the east with regards to certain Buddhist viharas. I myself have been involved in some of them. Sir, let me say, he also mentioned, one of them mentioned that Nagadeepa Vihare, there are Tamils who go and pray. There are Tamils who go and pray not only at the Nagadeepa Vihare. There are Tamils who pray at several other vihares also. I was brought up by a amme. Apart from my parents, the person who I can give credit to for bringing me up is a Sinhala Buddhist amme from the Matara district.
Honourable Member, you have 2 more minutes.
So we have no problems with Sinhalese or we have no problems with Buddhists. But with regards to the protests that are taking place in the northeast, they are specifically for reasons that are quite sinister. That is why we are protesting. For example, the vihara that has been built in Taiyati is illegally built. It is built on private land, land belonging to individuals, land belonging to private citizens. And it is illegally built with no authorization whatsoever. In fact, there is a land of about 20 perches that belongs to a vihara that was in that area that is still vacant. Nothing is being built there. But on illegal private land, there is a vihara that is being built. Let me finish. You can answer me once I finish. There is a vihara that is being built. Secondly, sir, we are also protesting. We are also, after I finish, otherwise I won't get to finish. After the other point where we protest is with regards to archaeological sites. Archaeological sites where the courts have ordered no buildings should be built. Courts have ordered. You're a lawyer. Courts have ordered that no new constructions can be made. And this...
No, I am referring to the land that he was talking about before. I don't know anything about what you're saying now. But I want to mention that the temple that was built there is a deed indeed for the temple. There's 1.9 acres. This GA confirms. So he is no better than the GA. No, so we have to go by the GA. Of course, there is a dispute. So we will look into that. We have appointed a committee to look into that. And there's no point going there and disrupting the whatever they are doing. That don't do that, sir. We can settle this.
No. Once again, the Honourable Tennakun, you must understand you're a lawyer. Right? You must know that there are procedures even with regards to building a temple. Right? There is a procedure. You can't go and build just because a GA says you can't go and build without any order, without any plans, without any acceptance from the local authorities. All of it was done illegally, right? And anyway, I can tell you with all responsibility that is an utter lie that you are uttering today. It is.
That's what I'm saying. We have appointed a committee to look into that, right? There's no point going there and disrupting the people who are doing their religious affairs. You have no right to do that.
You have appointed a committee after we went and protested. Otherwise, you would have never appointed a committee. And also, sir, there are court orders by your own courts given to archaeological sites that are to be exhumed, not to have new buildings. You all are building new buildings there, and then what does one say? You have Medananda Thera, who then all of a sudden pronounces that around that area for 300 acres you can't have anybody else but Sinhala Buddhists who can live there. So what isn't that sinister? Isn't that sinister? Aren't those reasons for us to protest? So please don't mislead the Sinhala people who will not approve of these racial acts. Please don't mislead the people.
Honourable Member, your time is over.